Hi, I'm Alice Bragg and I founded and ran World Film Collective for 7 years as the CEO. It all started here at Mirage Enterprises when a film director I was working for asked me to go and research how we could get the young boys from the flats just over there into the film industry. He'd been broken into a few times and through interactions with the police had come to understand some of the stories of their lives and wanted to bring them in. So I went out and researched how that was possible and came back and concluded that actually you needed to run education programs in order for that to happen because this particular demographic was particularly difficult to access. I then worked in inner city schools teaching filmmaking and I saw the impact it had on young people, how their confidence increased, and also how interesting the stories were that they were telling us and how much we learned from those stories. I then did a master's dissertation looking at Palestine and Israel as a case study on the relationship between theatre and politics. And it was while doing that I had the idea of creating an alternative media platform using the technology that's available, and particularly cell phones, to engage young people in training programs so that they could make films and populate this platform. I'd also been looking at a theatre technique that was bringing ordinary people into sort of the drama space and specifically in favelas, and that's where I met Vanessa Goys. And it was with Vanessa and Nidal Ashrash in Palestine and a network of others that we really drove WFC in those early years and actually throughout its life. But it was in 2008 when we did our first training program in Cape Town and I met Sim Khalili Kalimashe that I suddenly thought actually this thing could really take off on the ground. Simi was really enthusiastic and he could see how it could appeal to the young people in the townships around Cape Town, and he really drove it. And South Africa became our flagship country, and we made a lot of really interesting films about young people's lives in those township communities. So I think at the heart of WFC is the belief that we understand each other and ourselves to a certain extent through storytelling, and that storytelling therefore has a huge power and influence on the way we see the world. And so it's been a real privilege to work with young people and help them and enable them to contribute their stories. And we have a website now with all of our training programs and our films so that anybody can access this teaching and make their own films and tell their own stories. So hopefully more people will tell their own stories and be grassroots filmmakers and be part of that movement, because I think it benefits everybody.